The Dirt Show.
There is a list. It's not a client list prepared by Jeffrey Epstein. It's a list of women who've made accusations against prominent people, like Jacques Cousteau's granddaughter, and or the former majority leader of the Senate, the former ambassador to the UN. So there is a list of those accusations, and some of them have been made public, some of them have not. That's the list. So it's confusing because no, there is no client list, but yes, there is a list. And so what was said, yeah, there's a list, but the list wasn't produced, is not false. There is a list. It's been sealed, but there is no client list. So that's clear. There were other allegations. One of them is that Jeffrey Epstein is an intelligence agent. He worked for the CIA. He worked for M6. He worked for the Shin Bet. He worked for the Mossad. All false. All totally false. And it grows out of some of it. It grows out of two items. One, Ghislaine Maxwell, his former girlfriend's father, did work for intelligence agencies. His name was Robert Maxwell, and he was found dead under mysterious circumstances. So there's that connection. Also, there's an FBI statement in an FBI, what's called 302, an interview statement or a statement done by the FBI, which says Jeffrey Epstein is cooperating with the FBI and will continue to cooperate with the FBI. Of course he was. That was part of the deal. Part of the deal was that going forward, as part of the deal, he would have to continue to provide information whenever the FBI wanted it. And he was doing that. But he never worked for the FBI prior to this. He was not an informant. He was not an agent. None of that is true. He certainly did not work for Israeli intelligence. And today I was interviewed and they said, well, we have the smoking gun. We have a picture, a photograph of Jeffrey Epstein wearing an IDF, Israel Defense Forces t-shirt. Yeah, I know. I bought it for him. Here's the story. So he called me. I was in Israel writing a book. I was on sabbatical. And he said, I've never been to Israel. I'd love to come meet some interesting people. Would you set up a lunch? I set up a lunch with Justice of the Supreme Court, some professors. And after the lunch at the Citadel Hotel in Jerusalem, he said, I'd love to take a walk through the shuk, the market. And so I took him to the shuk, and there was a stand that was selling IDF shirts, $7. And to have him remember his visit to Israel, I bought him that $7 shirt, and he put it on. He was photographed wearing it, and he enjoyed it. That's his connection to Israel and the IDF. A T-shirt for $7 bought in the shuk in Jerusalem. But of such non-events are conspiracy theories woven. So let's be very absolutely categorically clear. Jeffrey Epstein never worked for any intelligence agency, never worked for the CIA, never worked for M6, never worked for Israeli intelligence. I know because I was his lawyer making the deal. I pressed him over and over again. If you've worked for any government, if you've done anything for the government, if you can give the government anything, we'll help. We'll get a better deal. He couldn't do it, and so he did not work for intelligence. So there's a new thing came out today in the Telegraph. His butler, who I didn't know was the butler that came on after my role in the case was over, his butler said that Donald Trump offered Jeffrey Epstein a job in his second administration, or maybe it was the first, I'm not sure, one of the administrations, but it would be, I think, the second. But in any event, that Donald Trump offered Jeffrey a job and Epstein declined it. Now, could anything be further from this? Can you imagine a confirmation hearing? Well, we now present Jeffrey Epstein for confirmation. He was pleaded guilty to having sex with a minor and serve prison time. Now confirm him. There's just no conceivable chance that the president of the United States is going to be offering a convicted felon a job in this administration. And he's never pardoned or anything like that. He served his sentence. That's the end. So of course there's no truth to that. And there's no truth to almost all of these things. Now look, there's no question that the material should be disclosed. And it comes in three different forms. there's material that's been sealed by the judges. Go in front of the judges. Not only the administration, but the media should go in front of the judges. There are 3 federal judges in New York, and they have the power to unseal. So, but without unsealing, the Justice Department can't reveal the information. They don't even have it. Justice Department doesn't have access to sealed information any more than I did. I've actually seen some of it because I was one of the lawyers, but I'm not free to disclose it without the permission of the judge. So that's one tranche of material that was sealed by the judges. Okay, you can make an application to the judges to unseal it. The other is FBI minutes, and there was an application judge made in front of a federal judge in Florida, and she refused to unseal it. So don't put the blame for that on the administration. The judge refused to unseal the grand jury minutes. The grand jury minute is not going to have very much, by the way, because what do you put before a grand jury? The minimum necessary to get an indictment. And the third is anything in the Justice Department files that have not already been released, and they should be released. Now, the problem with that is, as I mentioned, what's in the Justice Department file will include many accusations and many false accusations against prominent people: Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Richard Branson. If you're going to release the information, the accusations, you have to also release all the stuff that shows the accusations are false. And that involves releasing negative material about alleged victims: Sarah Ransom, Farmer, and a few others like that. And officials don't want to release information about alleged victims. And remember too that the allegations involving trafficking, they only come from a very small number of people, some of whose credibility have been very, very seriously diminished. So the case for Epstein being a trafficker or a pedophile is extraordinarily weak. A pedophile is somebody who has sexual interests in somebody pre-puberty. There was no allegation even that Epstein was a pedophile. Epstein's interests were in, mostly, according to the evidence, 17, 18, 19-year-olds. Maybe there was a one or two slightly younger ones, but there were no indications of pre-pubescent men or women, girls or boys. So there's a lot of speculation about that turns out not to be the case. So the answer is to release everything in the Justice Department files. Maybe you redact a name here and there, but release everything. Let it all come out. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and you're not going to end this thing unless you're as open about this as I have been from day one. From day one, I have said everything should come out. I hope there are videotapes of everything that went on in every one of Jeffrey Epstein's bedrooms. I hereby waive every right of privacy to anything. I hope there's a client list. If I'm on it, fine, release it. I'm not on it, of course, because I wasn't his client. But I want everything out, and anybody who's innocent should want everything out. So I'm hoping that everything will come out. And there'll be some accusations, but there'll be false accusations, some of them. And once all the evidence comes out, you'll be able to sort out the true from the false accusations. That's the essence of our justice system, distinguishing true accusations from false accusations.